Even if you've never started a business, you probably know some of the main ingredients for success. You need an idea that solves a problem or offers a benefit. You need a solid team behind the idea. You need great execution. And of course, you need capital. But the fact is, most businesses fail even though they have all of these key ingredients. And the big question is why? There's something mysterious about what it takes for a business to succeed. And there's a notion that a large part of it is random, dependent on external factors that are outside your control. But my experiences have shown me otherwise. Success isn't just about building a business and then rolling the dice, nor do you have to be at the complete mercy of good timing or having the right market conditions. In fact, I think you can actually overcome these external factors and minimize their influence. Now, I've been starting businesses since I was a little kid. Some of them never took off. A number of them generated a decent middle-class income, and a few made millions. But if there's a common thread across most of these businesses, it's that they try to tackle problems with solutions that have never been tried before. But when you're the first to do something, there's also a pretty good chance you'll be the first to fail. Unfortunately, the reality is that business can be very risky, but it doesn't have to be. By applying a few powerful and basic principles, you can set a path to success and overcome some of these boundaries. I hope to share some of these experiences. I hope to share some of these lessons that I've learned as an entrepreneur. Back when I was a college student, I came up with an exciting idea, something totally new and revolutionary that I thought would change the world. And as I explain what this idea did, there's a good chance it may sound familiar to you. My plan was to create the first online marketplace for sharing rides. It featured route matching technology, online payments, and a feedback rating system. There were already bulletin boards online for sharing rides, but I created something that offered more efficiency and scalability. The idea made perfect sense, and I was confident that it would succeed. So I formed a company, put together a business plan, developed the software, raised some capital, and launched the company. Not long after launching, we were featured in technology blogs like CNET and Lifehacker, appeared in Time magazine, and attracted the attention of major companies like Facebook and Zipcar. So, how well did we do? Did we make thousands of dollars? Did we make millions of dollars? Well, it wasn't Uber, and it wasn't Lyft. It was called Ridester, and truth be told, it failed. But why? The software worked well, it was user-friendly, and it promised to connect drivers and to save travelers money. Unfortunately, other factors stood in the way. Ridester launched pre-iPhone and Android, so there was no way to connect travelers when they were out and about, away from their computers. Instead, we relied on text messages, but this was more of a hack than a solution because people still had to go back to their computers to confirm and complete payment. So one problem we faced, one external factor that was in our way, was lack of technological infrastructure. But another huge problem was that we had to fundamentally change human behavior. So when Ridester was launched, people weren't accustomed to arranging in-person transactions with strangers through the internet. Feedback ratings worked on sites like eBay for buying things from strangers, but not for getting in the car with strangers. So the social economy wasn't there, the technology wasn't there, and it just really wasn't the right time. So as we were continuing to struggle with a lot of these external factors, a guy by the name of Logan Green gave me a call. He had just created an app on Facebook called Zimride for sharing rides and wanted to see if there was an opportunity to collaborate. His app at the time was pretty primitive, so I dismissed the opportunity, thinking that there really wasn't a need to partner with him. And around the same time, one of my side businesses started to take off. And so I actually moved on from Ridester because it had started to stagnate, chalking it up to just being too early in the market. Now, Logan Green, on the other hand, over the next few months, he continued to improve his software, branched out from Facebook to college campuses, And by leveraging existing communities of trust, he had found a way to keep his community afloat as the sharing economy evolved and smartphones came to the scene. Today, Logan Green is best known as the co-founder and CEO of Lyft, a multi-billion-dollar company. Could Ridester have become an Uber or Lyft? It's much easier on my self-esteem to say that I was just too early. The technology wasn't there, people weren't ready. But being honest with myself, the real reason Ridester failed was that I failed to acknowledge and adapt to external factors. I thought I could overcome people's objections about safety and risk rather than fundamentally changing my business model. One thing was certain. It was a hard lesson learned, but I was never again going to sabotage a business by failing to respect external realities. Instead, I was going to listen, acknowledge, and adapt my business model. Now I'd like to fast forward 7 years, 4 startups, and 2 successful exits, and share how I've applied the lessons I learned with Ridester to my latest startup. My good friend Ohad and I recently got together around an exciting business idea, a thin layer of technology that tucks into your bed to track your sleep, gently wake you up with a vibrating smart alarm, and the feature we were most excited about is it turned the entire bed into a remote control, allowing you to tap or swipe anywhere on your bed to control smart devices, turn a TV on, control lights, and so forth. We were thrilled with the idea. We called it Sleepra, and over the next few months, we developed a prototype and we applied to a startup accelerator. Now, just a few days into the accelerator program, we realized we had a problem. People were excited about tracking sleep. They liked the idea of a vibrating smart alarm, but they just didn't see the point of a gesture-activated bed. A lot of people actually told us they thought it was kind of lazy. So what were we to do? We were already a few weeks into the accelerator program, and one thing I had learned from my past lessons was that I had to find out a solution fast. So we went back to the drawing board, and we looked at the feature that was actually innovative, the gesture technology, and we thought beyond the bed, where people didn't see the point. And instead, we imagined, what if we could add gesture technology everywhere, allowing people to put this where they want? Back to the drawing board, we came up with a new concept, Knocki, a small Wi-Fi-enabled device that instantly transforms walls, tables, doors, countertops, and more into powerful and highly accessible remote controls. With Knocki discreetly mounted to a surface you could tap anywhere on the surface in specific patterns to control lights, locks, coffee machines, all kinds of connected devices in a simple and highly accessible way. We were thrilled with the idea, but the more important question was, what would other people think? Given how little time we had in the accelerator, we had to find out fast. So we went to a hardware store, bought a towel holder with a nice brushed metal base, ripped it off, slapped on our logo, took some pretty pictures, put them on a basic website, and allowed people to place pre-orders with their credit cards, letting them know that we wouldn't actually charge the cards until the product was ready to ship. In just under a month, we generated over $50,000, giving us a way to quickly capture consumer sentiment about the product and determine with a high level of confidence that it fit the market. This allowed us to raise capital, develop a production-ready prototype, and move forward with full confidence that we had a viable business. Just a few months ago, we took Knocki to Kickstarter, setting a goal to raise $35,000. We hit that goal in 1 hour, and by the time the campaign was over, we had raised well over $1 million, becoming the most funded Texas technology company in Kickstarter history, and the sales are still coming in. Had I stuck with Sleepra, I would have been on a collision course with consumer sentiment, allowing external factors to block my path to success. Instead of forcing it to work, we took a step back, listened to the feedback, and adapted. In doing so, we acknowledged the external realities and changed from within. This allowed us to take over our destiny and open up a path to success. This is a lesson all of us can apply to our lives. Thank you.